Everyone has something to help them get through the day. It could be a family member, a friend, an activity, whatever it may be. Everyone has something to help them get through the day. For me, that would be my dogs. And this dog, Halo, has been in my life for 10 years. And this is all about Halo. To start off, I have a confession to make. Halo isn't really my dog. She is in fact actually my aunt and uncle's dog, but I lived with my aunt and uncle for about 7 years when Halo was young, so I consider Halo my dog. Halo was born on March 16th, 2012. My birthday is on March 14th, and personally I find it pretty amazing that our birthdays are so close to each other. It makes me feel even more connected to her than I already do, and I find that awesome. When I had first heard that my aunt and uncle, who live in the same town as me, were getting a puppy, I was terrified because the last interaction I had had with a puppy was not a good one. I was afraid this puppy was going to be loud, scary, have sharp teeth, claws, and it was going to hurt me. I couldn't have been more wrong. When I first met Halo, I couldn't find her. She was in the same room as me. I knew that because I entered the house through the living room, and I knew the puppy was too small to get into any other room at the time. I looked around for a few seconds to figure out where she was, and finally, somewhere over in the corner, I see this golden yellow fur ball. Not very big, maybe about the size of a piece of paper or a notebook. And I think to myself, there's no way that's that dog, because dogs are scary and this one isn't. Needless to say, I kind of fell in love. Halo was the cutest thing that I could think of at the time. And looking back, I still think puppy Halo was one of the cutest things I've ever personally seen. My cousins, who are a little older than me and a little younger than me, depending on which one you're talking about, also fell in love with Halo. So the entire time I was there during that visit, I barely got to touch her at all because everyone's hands were all over her, and I felt jealous because I didn't have a dog and they have this cute little puppy who has completely taken over my world. Later in life, about 2 years later, in the summer of 2014, my mother and I moved in with my aunt and uncle. So Halo officially became my pet in a sense around that time. About a month later, in August, we decided to get Halo a sister. Her sister is Jade, and this is Jade. Despite the fact they are not related at all in any way, besides the fact that they're both dogs, they're sisters because they're the two dogs and they're both girls. They tolerate each other, they get on each other's nerves sometimes, but overall, they're a pretty good family. Halo has two nicknames that I came up with that other people like to use as well. The first one is Biff Fat because she's big and fat, or was big and fat, now she tends to be pretty skinny, and Biff Stink because she stinks, because people like to rub their feet all over her and she smells like Fritos. Halo and Jade couldn't be more different though. Halo is food-driven, lethargic, and stubborn. Jade is a little smarter, isn't as food-driven, and loves to run. You could take her on a walk all day throughout the entire day and she would still want you to do it even more. Like I said, Halo is the opposite. She will only go on a walk if she knows she's getting food afterwards, because that's how she is. She is food-driven to the core. That brings me into one of my fondest moments with Halo. Looking back on it now, it's funny, but at the time, I was just not in the mood. So this takes place a few years ago, back when I used to live with her, and I was sitting there with my best friend at my dinner table, or my aunt and uncle's dinner table, and we were eating food just like we normally would, and we're sitting there and Halo's begging, because that's what she does, food-driven dog, always begging, like, it's like, oh my, I just like, please just be quiet, is all I'm thinking to myself. So I'm just not in the mood. I'm talking to my friend, we're eating, and then Halo sits down and she goes, she just farts. And I just stop eating, stare her dead in the eye, and I am just so pissed. And my best friend, he just cannot stop laughing. It is the funniest thing he's ever seen. And the entire time, Halo acts like nothing happened. She's looking right at me, just still begging. And like I said, I'm just pissed. But looking back on it now, it is just absolutely hilarious to me. And it's a memory that I will take to my grave. Halo has made a dramatic change in my life. She made me learn and believe that dogs aren't something to be feared. They're something that you live alongside with. They are man's best friend after all, and after meeting Halo, I learned that that really is the truth. And I'm very thankful that she's in my life. I wish everyone had someone like Halo in their lives. Be it a dog or a person or any other type of animal. Someone who will stay up late nights watching movies with you while eating Cheez-Its. Or going to sleep after a long day of work, getting ready for the next day. Someone who greets you at the door, letting you know that despite the fact you may feel worthless, someone or something appreciates your life way more than you could possibly imagine. Someone who makes you feel important, like your life truly does matter. And Halo does a hell of a good job of that. This isn't all sunshine and rainbows, though. About a year ago, Halo was diagnosed with lymphoma, which is cancer of the lymph nodes. We don't know how much time she has left, but it probably isn't going to be more than a year. She has lived a good life. We love her, and we've always treated her with respect. And she will forever be a part of our family. But that doesn't change the fact that this is going to hurt a hell of a lot more than a lot of other things will. Death isn't something we as people are able to grasp and cope with very well. And that isn't any different when it comes to our pets. Because if you're like me, your pets are more than just your property. They're as close to you as the people who are also in your family. They mean everything to you. And you not having them in your life really does suck a lot. Despite all this, Halo's actually faring pretty well. She's doing great. Despite the fact she has cancer, she doesn't seem to have noticed it, and as my aunt says, as long as she doesn't notice it, she'll be fine. She's still eating, she still loves seeing people. The only thing that's really changed is her appearance. Her face is a lot more white, you can feel the swelling in her neck, but other than that, she's doing pretty solid overall. These past 10 years of my life with Halo have been amazing. She's been with me through it all, ups and downs, good and bad, and she's been a great support in my life, especially to my mother, who loves animals, and Halo really loves her because my mom gives her so much food and it makes her very happy. Doesn't make my aunt happy, but it makes the dog happy, so I find that pretty humorous. Anyways, I'm very thankful to you, Halo, for everything that you've helped me through. And I will always love you, my bifat. Thank you, Halo. I love you.
Give me the blanket. No. Give me the blanket. I don't want to play. I want to watch TV. Can I have it? Give it. Give it. Leave it. Leave it. No, no, that's my blanket. Leave me alone. Oh, what? You want to play? Come on. Are you a good girl? What? Did you have a good day today? What? What? I know.